Any second now. Any second now. There, yes, we are now live. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter. Tonight I'm currently being joined by the one and only Chandy Man. Would you like to say hello, Chan?
Hello.
There we go. Chandy Man isn't feeling his best today. He is, I'm joking that it's the coronavirus, but it's just the flu. Why am I late, why am I late, Ben? Because I am badly organised. Yes, I'm here now. I'm here to try and entertain you all, and yeah. So, as you can see from the title, today's topic of choice is why sites don't allow bring your own paint. There's been a topic raging on, I think it was How Big Is Paintball on Facebook, and I thought I would give it a go at addressing this because I think it's an interesting one. So I'm going to get Chan's input. Hopefully Albert will be along soon. Colin may turn up, and if anybody else wants to drop in and talk to her, then feel free. But yeah, I'm going to give my opinions on it. These guys will hopefully give their opinions, and hopefully we will have a good discussion. So, Chan, have you got anything that you would like to say before we proceed with where you can go and play this weekend?
In reference to what?
Anything.
Not really.
Fair enough. I get the feeling that today's stream is going to be full of enthusiasm and excitement. Rightin'. There we go, it's already starting. Rightin', so, getting on to where you can go and play this weekend should you be looking for a game. So first off, there is Warp Cosfad's Genesis Series Chapter 1. This Sunday it is £30 entry, £30 for paint, kit rental should you need it is £10, and first rate rounds are permitted, but only for bolt action markers. This information was given to by Adam Elwell, who is leading the Wretched faction. Next up, there is the Mechanical Masters at Campaign. This was given to her by Martin Lavender. It is the old school versus new school theme. It is £30 if you want a ticket on the day, £25 if you are bringing your own paint, that is a pre-order ticket, and £20 for a pre-order ticket if you are purchasing paint on the day. So that one was Martin Lavender, thank you very much. Next there is Skirmish Nottingham's Walk On. This is on the 8th. That one is from Dave Brooke Reed, and there is also Mayhem Magfed on the 8th as well, also from Dave Brooke Reed. I haven't seen any links to those last two, but if anybody does have a link to the information for those, I am more than happy to stick it in the comments section down below. So yeah, thank you very much for that there, guys. Right, so now that is done, Paul says, Chan Wisdom being dropped already. So, how is everyone? Apart from Chan, because we already know he's sick. Yeah, I hope that everyone is doing fantastic. And hopefully, yes, as I said, we shall try and entertain people. Yes. So, Chan, you've been off sick today. Is it just off sick today, or have you been off sick for longer and haven't got anything new to share at the moment?
No, just today, to be honest. I've been ill for longer than today, but it's just sort of progressively got worse.
Yeah.
Hopefully this means I'll be getting better soon.
Yeah. Was it a situation of your boss sent you home? Because with your work ethic, I don't believe you will have voluntarily gone home.
Wait, no, to be fair, I did go in the office and I said, is it alright if I go home? He just sort of covered his mouth and then sort of rolled back in his chair and then shooed us out the office.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yes.
He didn't actually say any words to us.
Did he try and apply a dust mask at the same time? Which, funnily enough, brings us on to have, by any chance, because with the coronavirus scare, it seems that places are selling out of hand wash and dust masks, or any sort of face masks, really. Have you seen the guy that is... now, I know it is a joke, but have you seen the guy selling thongs as dust masks, Union Jack thongs?
Yes.
Oh, I love
old
that.
bloke.
Yeah, the older bloke. And then you just put your hat on top and there you go, mask. Like, you know what it is? I like that. That's thinking outside the box, that. That's, taking something and repurposing it. That's what, Greta would be proud.
It kind of reminds us of like a skinhead Bane.
A bit, yes. Like, not even a skinhead Bane. Just
Well, no, just
quite...
with the Union Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, yeah. But to me, it was just more like a very polite, posh Bane. That's possibly, settled down, had a few kids, and now just likes tea and crumpets. Oh, God. So, last week it was fleshlights, this week it's blokes wearing thongs on their face.
Yeah.
There, well, procedures as we plan to go on. Start as we plan to go on. That was the phrase I was looking for. Yeah. Thongs on faces. Right. So.
Mr. Rex says he's waiting for.
Ah, right. He's in the chat, is he? Ah, yes. Let's drop over into guests on there then, and we'll have a word with Ben. Right. Hello there.
Hello.
And how are you doing today?
Not too bad.
Champion.
I was dying. Well, I've got a slight cold, but it's just a cold. It's just sniffles. It's not like I'm dying of kung flu like Mr. I'm a weak chap.
You.
Oh, what was the other one? Oh man. Oh damn! I can't remember what it. Ah, I had one the other day, and now it's gone. No, that's not fair.
What? An erection?
Oh yes. King prawn egg flew young. Oh.
It just sounds like Chan's definitely been taking too much cream of some young guy.
Die.
With a 2% mortality rate, it's unlikely, mate. In all fairness, like, I mean, if somebody goes to give you a lottery ticket and was like, "There's a 2% chance that you may die if if your numbers come up," you'd probably not want to take that lottery ticket, would you?
True.
Yeah. But
then again, you could be like me and the other 58 people that entered the Predators raffle, and part of something be like, "Oh."
Actually, that's who did win?
It's a guy, Michael something or other. His surname I couldn't even look up and pronounce. It was number 10 on the list. He was the lucky bastard. But joys of National Lottery, it was like an hour and a half late for the draw.
Yeah, because we were actually sitting there talking while you were waiting for that, weren't we?
Yeah. But the best thing is, I thought, sod it, and early that day I stuck 2 lottery tickets on and got fucking 30 quid for it. So I still doubled the money I spent.
Yeah, that's not bad. yeah. At least you got something out of it then. Yeah. Yeah, because that's it. The National Lottery's like £2 a ticket now or something, isn't it? Damn con men.
Yep. Though, what I did get up to the weekend is I'm now, hopefully, I've now done my CPPS ref course.
Fantastic. And how did you find that?
Fucking weird. Like, classroom stuff in the morning, brilliant. No, the reason why I say weird, it was the student cup at the weekend, and Saturday was just the training day, same day as the refs course. So in the afternoon, they decided to take us out there, just obviously to have a bit of on-field experience with the other refs there.
Yeah.
But In the hour and a half was on the field, it went. What was the order? Rain, sleet, hail, snow. Rain, sleet, hail, snow.
Yep.
About every 15 minutes.
Nice.
Swapping between them.
Yep. Nice.
And my God, bounce vests and stuff are needed.
Uh-huh.
Because adrenaline is definitely not lacking.
Yep.
And for some reason, I don't know why, every time I get hit in the sides or on the front, like mid chest, it's always on a rib. It's never between, it's always on.
Yeah.
But
never in the fleshy bits.
Because they left it a bit late to give people notice, because I think I only got 4 days notice when the post went up to the actual day of it. They will be looking to do another refs clinic, hopefully before the first round of CPPS this season. So if anyone wants to get involved, it's not just a case of you're helping out for it.
Yeah.
They are paid refs positions, and without refs, can't run games.
Yeah, very true. And that's it. I mean, like the refs that go down and ref stuff like CPPS, that ref things like the ECPL, you know, they are trained to a higher standard. You know, it's not just, as Paul Banks put it in reference to a different conversation earlier on today on Facebook, it's not just some kid anymore that's being paid 20 quid and doesn't really care. You know, these are...
It's a case of just showing like refs layout positions, all the rules, the signals, what to do in certain circumstances and that. And the fact of, I mean, look at a day's tournament play. I mean, we're basically going to be on that field the entire day, apart from a short break for lunch, and we'll only have the time between games finishing rather than between points. Mate, to like have a chance of a break. So whereas obviously, how was it that Peter Marshall was one of the refs running it? He put it as players are the sprinters, the refs are the marathon runners. Whereas you're even if it goes to like whatever, you look at what 7 points or whatever. I mean, the players are doing are doing that, but then the refs are there the entire game. Let alone each and every game.
And that's it. As you even pointed out yourself, you know, when you're a ref and your adrenaline isn't up because you're just standing around, those shots do. Even if you're not one for normally minding getting shot, when you're reffing, you do feel them a bit more. And if you get in somebody's lane, that's not a nice place to be when your adrenaline isn't up.
Plus, obviously, there's luckily, especially when I've seen it, and from speaking to a few of the guys at ref for a while, the rare occasions where someone decides to dive into, like say, dive into the snake, and they manage to face plant their own mask off of their head from their hopper. And then they start trying to look around for it. That's the best thing when a fucking ref's got to try and dive in the way. It's just like, or the refs in the centre, which is normally the 9th and 10th refs. No, 6th, 7th, and 8th. They always look like they're having a nice, easy time laid in the middle of the floor to start. They're the ones that are lying down so they don't get immediately nailed. They're the ones that then have to get up and move after a little while, still trying not to get completely fucking nailed.
Because you know that there's always somebody that's going to see something stand up in the middle of the field and is just going to put that gun straight on them. And that ref is going to get hammered. You know it's going to happen, but if you're that ref that's got to do that, it's not nice. But what can you do? You can try and you just kind of got to hope that they realise that you're wearing yellow or something pretty sharp.
Well, I got absolutely the worst one. I got nailed a couple of times, but the worst one I had, I'm standing opposite side from entry onto the field, and one of the corners, watching out here on the break. Next thing, a ball's hit the netting, bounced off of it, and nailed the soft, squishy bit behind your knee. It's like someone had given me like one of the childish like granddads. It's just like, oh, whoa, Jesus, fuck.
Jelly.
Like being tripped up.
That's it. Got to watch for those bounce shots. No, I can't believe that there is some players that spend so long trying to work out how to do bounce shots off specific bunkers when they're they're prepping for an event. The amount of time
So,
that
to be fair, you just if you obviously sup air is all about the angle.
Yeah.
If you can bend those angles, bouncing off of the bunkers, why not?
True. Yeah, that is true. But the problem you've got to assume that the field is going to be exactly the same as the field that you've trained on. Because if it's not, and those bunkers are slightly askew or something, your bounce shot training is completely out the window.
Very true.
Right, and so yeah.
My bad. No, I was about to say there's already now because obviously with the UK refs being top refs, not tourney wise, obviously there's a big thing that quite noticed. A lot of people noticed. A few of them went off to do World Cup last year.
Yeah.
There's 2 guys already going out to do the Vegas NXL.
Yeah.
So
Canny.
They're gonna have slightly nicer weather than we are here.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. There's we're not having much fun when it comes to weather at the minute, are we?
Or at least you're not gonna get burnt, are you?
True. That's it. At the moment, I'm relatively safe to walk outside in the daylight.
As long as it's cloudy.
Yeah. But that's it. With a little bit of cloud cover, I'm fine. I've got to get the factor 50 out though if it's the clouds shift. So, who fancies approaching the topic of why sites don't allow bring your own paint?
Money. Money.
Yes. I mean, the simplest.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. But then you can start looking at it, and by breaking it down into like rentals, definitely.
Yeah.
No, bring your own, because that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sites like Delta Strike and IPG bollock.
Yes. Well, IPG and Delta Force are the same people. That's it. It's one is the selling side, one is the actual field side. Same company. But yeah, it's there was the discussion that was going on one of the would it have to do some? Would it be something to do with profit? Yes, Paul. It partly is that. Yes, I mean it also depends on which sites you're looking at, because I would say most independent sites are a little bit more ethical with it. They are interested in providing a good experience. Some of the bigger sites, again, I'm now going to not mention names, but some of the bigger sites, they have no ethics when it comes to selling shite paint to their customers, because they are the big name in it when it comes down to it. At least that's the way that it would seem. This is all my opinion. I'm saying that so I don't get sued. But yeah, that is my opinion from looking at as an outsider into things. It would seem that they just want to sell the most paint that they can and make as much profit as they can. Now, if a site is like that, yeah, that's shit. But most sites, in my opinion, they want to sell it. They want to sell their paint because obviously that's how they make their money, as has already been pointed out. But as I can remember, I believe it was Tony Lamb said it. It was the first person I ever saw say it years ago. You don't take your own drink into another pub. You kind of go down to Tesco, buy 6 cans, and walk into your local pub and sit down and ask for a glass. You just don't do it. And if you did try and do it, you get kicked out. Because what does the pub get out of you going and sitting in their pub, drinking beer from somewhere else? Nothing. You aren't contributing towards their bills. You aren't, the best you could say is, well, you're contributing to the environment. It's like, what? That contributing to the environment doesn't necessarily pay the bills. So for the pub to make money, they need to sell beer and they need to sell alcohol. And there was actually somebody that said, well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault if a paintball site loses money. If somebody brings their own paint. They should diversify their income. And to an extent, I agree with that. But then you can say, well, and I put it on that post. So you have a business, and let's say you sell apples. And you're selling apples at a little market stand or something, and somebody comes along and with their own bag of apples stands beside your stall and starts saying, when you go, excuse me, but can you move away? They go, well, no, I want to eat my apples in front of your stall. It's not my fault if you're losing money. You should diversify your income. So you go, you know what? Okay, you're right, I should diversify my income. So you start selling oranges as well. And then the same person comes back a little bit later on with their own bag of oranges and goes, well, it's not my fault if you're losing business. Diversify your income. So you start selling pears, and they turn up with a bag of pears as well and start going, it's not my fault that you're losing money, you should diversify your income. How far down the line do you have to push that? I mean, if a site starts doing, say, airsoft on the days that they're not doing paintball, and you turn up with just thousands and thousands of BBs, and go, because you can get them for £3 off of eBay instead of £7 at the site, and you go, well, it's not my fault, you should diversify your income. Okay, so I'm now doing airsoft and I'm doing paintball. I'm not making money there though, so I don't know, I'll do archery tag. So people can rent the gear. So you do archery tag, and then they turn up with their own archery bow and their own archery dart things. Like, well, what the fuck? It's as simple as that. What do you do when every time you try and diversify your income, people turn up and go, well, it's not my fault if you're losing money, you should diversify your income. It works to an extent, but ultimately it just means that the site is losing money. Now, I do think that, you know, sometimes, okay, it's fair enough if a site wants to do bring your own paint days. You know, like, some sites you would do, I've heard of sites where they'll go like, right, once a month we have a bring your own paint day. You can literally turn up and blast off all the paint that you have stored up. People go along because it's a cheap day out. But for the rest of the time, especially when it comes to rental customers, they want to sell their paint because they know what the quality is of it, and it's making their money. So, I mean, that's partly my opinion on it. And before I go on any further, have you guys got anything that you would like to put in on that?
Well, just from recently, obviously playing at Combat Zone Lincoln, you went and played their walk-on day, and you it's either £20 or £25.
Yeah.
Green fee, and then you have the option to either pay 45 or 50, and you'll get a case of paint, obviously depending on what grade you want.
Yeah.
But there's no obligation to buy their paint. You can take your own paint.
Yeah.
To the site. But from my experience playing paintball, shooting old paint is only ever good for Tekken markers. The majority of times, 9 times out of 10, old paint is shit to play with.
Yeah.
So, just, you're in an expensive sport. If you like it, pay for some fresh paint on the day. Have a good time. Don't worry about fucking 20, 30 quid.
Yeah. You see, part of it for me, and I know sometimes people have bad days, and you know, you might say, let's say you're buying your own paint for a tournament, and you play a tournament. Now you've gone there expecting that you are going to shoot 2 boxes of paint, and literally off the break, every single game you play 6 games on each day of the weekend, and literally off the break on each of those days you get shot out, and you are left with a box and a half of paint at the end of the event. That shit happens. I can't deny that. But for the most part, if you are buying that much paint that you are leaving events with boxes and boxes of paint, then there is, you're buying too much paint. You need to be reducing how much you're buying. In which case, if you reduce how much you're buying, what is the issue with buying it on the day? And how many people do you see taking drinks home from a pub? And I mean, I'm not talking, like taking a bottle home or something like that. Because I know some people sometimes do that. They'll grab an extra bottle to drink on their way home. But how many people buy a case of beer and then have to walk home with a case of beer from the pub?
Student bar staff. I used to do that a lot.
But that's bar staff. But there was somebody else. There was a few people who were saying, well, some places allow you to do that, and the argument was, well, some restaurants allow you to take drink into them because they don't have alcohol licenses, and it's like, So the place that doesn't do that thing allows you to take something else, that thing in, and then charges you a little bit extra to you do that thing on their premises that they don't already do. Right, so the place that's making money off food doesn't mind if you take drink in. Now that would make sense, wouldn't it? Chris Varney, on walk-ons, always buy site paint. It helps keep the site running. Yeah, it helps keep the site running. Walk-ons, exactly, Chris. If sites don't make any money from doing walk-ons, which people have to remember. You know, like, I mean, yes, we're paying maybe £20 for a walk-on, and if a site is shut down so it can host a walk-on as opposed to a rental day, you know, they are losing whatever money they'll be making by doing their rental customers. Now, it's obviously they are going to make a lot more money by having rental customers, but when they have walk-on players, they might only be making, you know, the sell a box of paint to a walk-on player for maybe £25 or something like that, £30, depending on where you go, anywhere up to £50. And most of the time when it's going to be like £50, it's going to include your entry fee as well. But let's just say you pay £20 entry and then you buy a box of paint for £25 or £30 on top of that. They might make £10 on that box of paint. Depending on how much they've bought, they might make £15 on that box of paint. But then, for having your group of 30 walk-on players, they've got 2 refs who need to be paid. They've got the compressor that needs to be maintained and refueled and all that sort of stuff. They've got the site rental fees. They've got all of these costs that people don't really think about. They just go, "Why are you making money? That's not right. You shouldn't be making money." But I need to eat. I mean, I'm saying this, and I'm not a site owner. I worked as a I worked as a referee for a few years at like a local walk-on, like a local field. That was it. But the guy, you know, like he had to maintain all of his stuff. He had a fleet of guns that he had to make sure were working. You know, all of that stuff has to be paid for. And it's just stupid to me that people complain. I suppose everyone wants something cheap, but I don't know. You guys got any input?
I'm scarred about that fucking thing you wanted to put in a pod pack.
Hey, I'm still working on that.
Well, even though Chan's filling his one up with Kung Flu as we speak.
Yep. Is it there? He's dribbling.
It's so much more of a catchier name than COVID-19.
Yeah. He's dribbling. He's dribbling sweet and sour sauce out of it.
Disgusting.
Well, at the end of it, you'll be left with sweet and sour bog balls.
Lawrence Barwick says there's not a lot of profit in even buying side paint at a walk-on. Much as it helps, it's still borderline not worth it. Even when you factor in the day fee, walk-ons are fast becoming unsustainable. Well, that is exactly it, Lawrence. You see, now there's a lot of site owners, when you talk to them, will say that they are only able to put on walk-ons because they have rental customers coming in. You know, a rental customer, and I do think £120 just for a box of paint is ridiculous. But that cost of like £120 for a box of paint subsidises the walk-on players who aren't spending a lot of money on paint. You know, if a site opens up for a walk-on and and says, they say there's 10 people say we want to walk on this day, so the site opens up and it turns out that there's 2 players turn up. Well, the site owner still has to pay his refs. He still has to pay for the equipment on site that would have been used. You know, if he's powered up the generator and used the fuel and everything for to run it and fill any storage tanks or anything like that, it still has to be paid for. Even if those 2 players get there and go, well, hang on, there's 2 of them, we're not playing. I mean, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so the site I used to work at, the most we know which site that was, is no longer open anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When they were running Takamo BT4s,
yeah.
they'd run it. It was a fixed price for rental customers because everyone had the same. Everyone got was it 3 or 4 mags per game per player?
Yeah.
All the paint they wanted.
Yeah.
Couldn't refill between games, but that was due to down the structure,
yes.
the game layout.
Yeah.
But that was an all-in price, and that was what I think it's going for 16 or 20. Yes, like 16 between 16 and 20 players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 50 or 60 quid. So let's say it's 50 quid.
Yeah.
So what? 50 quid, 20. Oh, so yeah, 50 quid, 20 players. That'd be obviously gross £1,000.
Yeah.
But it was never a full 20 player.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a whole load of them drop out.
Yeah. Exactly.
If anyone that has tried to organise, yeah, go on, sorry, Ben.
Yeah, but this is like even then still, because this is all the stuff was prepaid in advance.
Yeah.
Right? So even let's just say it's, for argument's sake, 16 players.
Yeah.
So that's take 200 off, 800 quid.
Mm.
There was me and another marshal.
Yep.
To be fair, dance it's quite easy. Should I say 7?
Yep.
Got
hang on there a sec, Ben. I'm just. Hang on, Ben. It's Discord's gone weird there. I'm just going to try leaving this, and I'm going to rejoin and see if I can get you back on there clearly. Right. Hopefully that should have corrected that.
No, you're still silent balls.
Right. Yeah, it hasn't cleared that up for some reason.
Right, you're loud on my end.
I'll come back in.
Right. Yeah, Chan, you did this kind of happened with you a little bit earlier on, but it kind of cleared itself up. You're coming through now loud and clear on my end now. Ben's just kind of gone a bit quiet. I can still hear you clearly. It's just like you dropped down a bit. Yeah. Anyway, Ben, sorry, you were saying.
Still quiet.
Yeah, you're quiet, but you are coming through clear.
Right, I'll put my mouth close to the phone so people can hear me. If it gets a bit loud, somebody shut up.
No worries.
Yeah, so basically, right, it's got 16 players, fixed price, 50 quid, 800 quid. Refs, off of that, 7. Fuel for the generator, obviously the compressor to fill up the tanks. Let's just say, argument's sake, another 50. So that already, and you've taken quarter away from it. Plus, that wasn't including obviously the paint that needs to be, obviously all the washing, the rental, the overalls, the snuds, the gloves.
Yep.
Cleaning down the markers. The cleaning bags. The general wear and tear stuff. Cleaning down the assault vests.
Yeah.
Site insurance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, it's profit. If you get, say, what happened, I've noticed it a couple of times, sites on the walk-on pages for. They'd have people saying, 15, 20, 25 people saying, be up for it. And then because even, especially luckily, it was having to prepaid or just about be able to book in, even just for the green.
Yeah.
It'd get to be like a month before, or nearest was 2 weeks before the actual walk. It's right, we've had all these people say they're interested, but we've had like 2 people in. It's not worth us doing it. That have turn up. Sorry guys, got to cancel it. Yeah.
That was it. I mean, when I was working on a rental site, I mean, obviously it was the same site that I played walk-ons on as well, but when I was working there rental, if we had 100 people planned on booking in, we knew we actually only really needed at most 90 guns set up, because there'd be a whole load of those would just drop out. They just wouldn't turn up. Even if they'd paid in advance, there would still be a whole load of people that just wouldn't even turn up. Now,
Fixed it.
You fixed it. But we knew that we just knew that people wouldn't turn up. So like you said, if you've planned, because you have got a plan for whatever the maximum is meant to be, and then only half that turns up, and you could have gotten away with not paying for that extra, well, you still have to pay for that extra that you've got there. It's stupid. It is crap. I mean, if they've paid up in advance and they've paid that a deposit, so maybe it's okay, you cover your costs, but you don't make any profit. Now, you get. It's very rare that one player at a rental day is going to buy massive amounts of extra paint or anything like that. Most rental players are going to pay. They're going to buy maybe 500 balls at most. That seemed to be about the average for a player that spent a fair amount of time on the trigger, but also wasn't going mental. A lot of players they do like these. A lot of rental players will do these where you pay £5, you get 100 balls included, you get to go and play. They blast them all off on the range before they even get to do anything.
Most sites are tricky like that. They say you get your 100
Yep.
balls free or 200, whatever it is. You get them in the last game.
Yep. So yeah, then little Timmy and his birthday party, who have been told that 100 balls will last them all day, or they get dropped off. They get signed in, then dropped off, and their parents all go away at the shops for the rest of the day. Have got to sit round until the last game of the day with nothing to do, which then also drags down the party for the rest of the day, or drags down the group for the rest of the day. Going back in the comments here a little bit, Paul says he's seen paint at 160 down there London. Down that there London. And it's like, yeah, Paul, you know what it is? I can actually believe that. I can entirely believe that. I know when I...
That's standard pricing for RPG.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
$7.99 per 100 or $8.99 for when you get on the lower stuff. Basically, a full box works out to be 160 quid.
Yeah. I know, when I first started sort of getting into paintball and I was doing reffing and stuff, I worked at a local big brand field for 3 days. That was it, just 3 sessions I worked there, and they were selling a box at the time for 120 quid, and that was around about 2008 when that was the case. So 12 years down the line, yeah, I can entirely believe that their sites selling big name sites, or even just normal sites, to be honest, selling paint at £160 a case. With inflation and stuff, that makes sense, yeah. But Lawrence Barwick has said, he's obviously, there's been a bit of backwards and forth between him and Paul. He says, believe me, there isn't a single walk-on deal that charges £160 for paint. You're confused as to what a walk-on is. Obviously, I'm Lawrence, I'm talking about both walk-ons and rentals. It's the whole bring your own paint.
RPG.
Pardon?
I did say that RPG charged 160.
Yeah.
Not that a walk-on does.
Yeah. That's, I mean, it's...
I like my paintballs gold!
Apparently, paint in the UK is actually very cheap as opposed to some other places. I believe it was, I can't remember what his name is, the big blonde guy from the Northern Alliance.
Mick Guyver.
Yes, Mick Guyver. I believe I think it was him that had mentioned that it's like, oh no, it wasn't him. It was some of the guys from the is it the Killer Clowns that were at North vs South last year? Not Insane Clown Posse. That's a band. I can't remember what they're called.
Clown Posse.
What was that? Sorry, there, Chan.
Psycho
Clown Posse. Yes, that's the one. Some of them were saying that over in
Hotel.
Yeah. They were saying that it was like what was it, like well over 100 quid or something like that for a box of paint over in Canada.
Hold on, I can tell you what Germany's is, because obviously I was supposed to be going here a big. Let me see. Where's it gone? Paintball 4 is €55 a box.
Yeah.
And that was for field paint, i.e. cheap grade.
Yeah, I mean, at €55 a box, I'd be expecting pretty damn high-end stuff. not field grade. So I mean, as far as it going like talking about other countries, we do actually have it pretty good, but there is it's still not cheap. I mean, anyone that plays paintball, you expect that, and it's one that is used to batter paintball all the time. So that paintball's expensive, and I say yes, we know it's expensive. You should know it's expensive. If you play it, you know it's expensive.
According to Google,
Mm-hmm.
just quick exchange rate. That basically means that, like, just example, you're a big game, your entry level paint, which I think works out to be like a 2-star per day. Which way around is it?
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's lower end of the scale, but not the cheapest shop.
Yeah.
£47 and change per box.
Yeah. That's expensive. I'll tell you what it is. If I ever go over and play something like Euro Big Game, I'm definitely playing Pump. I can't afford to pay that. I can't afford those sort of prices. But
that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I'm Northern Lions discount. It's still over €300 for 4 boxes of paint in the game ticket.
Nah. If I ever go over there, I'm playing Pump. 1 box of paint spread over the entire weekend.
To be fair though, the game ticket is for like 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, granted. Yeah.
It's not like even some of the big games. Oh, we'll have a little bit of a Friday game, and then Saturday, Sunday, normal weekend stuff. It's a case of it's 4 days of playing.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off on the Sunday.
Yeah, but going back to the sort of the main topic though, it was something I actually shared up on the conversation that this is kind of in reference to as well. Some of you guys, I expect some of you in the comments will already be aware of this video. It did the rounds big time when it was originally put up on YouTube. So I'm going to go over to the share screen, and well, in a second. But this, I'm only going to show a little bit of it because, frankly, I don't want to get copyright strike. But this is the sort of reason why sites like to have their own, to know what players are shooting. They like to sell their own paint because then they know what the quality is of the paint that they're shooting. Some sites, they can't even get insurance to shoot paint that isn't from their site. But yeah, so for some of you that may be newer, I realise that. Oh no, not that. Because I mean, obviously that is a very, very common one, and funnily enough, it's actually in the top right here as the next up video. But this is Mike from TPB, talking about Monster Ball, and the video that, like I said, did the rounds years and years ago of Mike. In fact, I'm just gonna press play, and I need to put the audio on.
Right here, his name's Mike Smith. He weighs about 150 pounds. Now watch this. I'm gonna take this and drop this from over here. Okay. No brakes in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. No brakes in the bag whatsoever. Now watch this. Show you my shoes. Okay. No cleats, no nothing.
Standing on a bag of paint, and it's not bursting.
Okay.
You shouldn't be doing that.
150-pound man here, standing on a bag of paint. Okay, so stomping on a bag of paint.
Yeah. So I realise that obviously the guys I'm talking with probably can't see that right now. I'm assuming you've only got this on audio. But for those of you that are watching,
I've got you on muted video. I'm currently catching up. In like the 30 seconds behind it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is exactly it. I mean, obviously, we didn't really have Monster Ball over here. For all, Walmart and Asda are basically the same people. Well, in fact, they are the same people. But Asda never sold paintball stuff over here. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why we never saw Monster Ball over here. Because it was sold by Walmart. Commonly sold by Walmart. Now, if a site is bring your own paint, which I do think is acceptable under certain circumstances, but what's to stop somebody rocking up with something like that they've bought, and you still see Monster Ball occasionally come up online, and it's generally memed on when somebody tries to sell a box of Monster Ball on eBay, but it does still turn up. And what's to stop somebody turning up with a box of something like that won't even break when you're standing on it and shooting at people? Now that's effectively just shooting a solid projectile at somebody, because it just won't burst. Later on in the video, Mike actually bites down on it, and you can see he's clenching his teeth, and it's like then that he finally gets it to burst. I'm pretty sure there was people posted videos of them using like pliers on Monster Ball and it not bursting. What's to stop somebody turning up with something like that when you have just bring your own paint? Now, would you want to be shot with that?
It's less a paintball, more like true being.
It's less a paintball, more.
No, being more an arborealist, or fuck it, actual proper name for it is posh gardener, let's say.
Yes.
From afar.
Arborist.
You don't need secateurs, you just shoot monster balls.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it. I mean, that stuff will take trees down. You know, it is. I mean, I know we had our equivalent over here, which was Spec Ops, which apparently was just the same. It would take trees down, but
strip the flesh.
Yeah. This is it. It's that stuff should not be being shot at people, and it's Repainted Sinner has said site paint is dear as fuck because paintball isn't a lucrative business. Field owners make their money on rental days, and that's a completely different economy. Yeah. This is it. But as I said earlier on, I don't know if you just joined the chat or not there, Sinner, but thank you very much for dropping in. But paintball is, as he said, it isn't it's not a massive business. It's relatively small. Paintball hasn't been doing very well over the past few years, in my opinion anyway. It does feel like we've been losing players, but it is rental days, as was mentioned earlier on, rental days sort of help pay for walk-on days. If rental players didn't pay as much as they do, we probably wouldn't have walk-on days. And to be honest, as much as I don't think it would be a massive issue for me, because I've got no problem going and playing stock class with a handful of rental players. If that's all I can play, that's where I'll go and play. But I know that there is people out there that like to go and blast paint off, and do they really want to be paying £160 for a case of paint? Probably not. So that's then going to put them off, and they're going to go and do something else instead. But yeah, I can go and buy 20 quid's worth of paint at £10 for 100 balls, and I can play all day like that. It's not going to be the most fun I'll ever have, but at least I get to still shoot people. But yeah, this is it. It's just paint costing a lot of money is an unfortunate sort of aspect of our sport. And as I mentioned earlier on, when somebody said, "Oh, it's not my fault that a paintball site loses money because they're charging, because somebody wants to bring their own paint. It's not my fault that they're losing money. They should diversify their income." You diversify your income and maybe start selling pyrotechnics as well, and then they turn up and go, "Well, I should be allowed to bring my own pyrotechnics." It's not my fault you're losing money. You should diversify your income, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. You take away one aspect of it, you add another aspect, and then they want to change that as well. I can understand if a site is taking the mick when it comes to how much they're charging for paint. Realistically, they're just not going to survive. People will choose to go and play somewhere else if that's the case, and that is the free market deciding on its own accord, going, "Nope, we're not happy with this, and if you're not prepared to change, we're going to move on." That's how it should be. Oh god, my arse is hurting sitting on this chair. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, that in my opinion is one of the big reasons though why sites don't allow bring your own paint, is because, as I said, when they are selling their own paint that's been controlled at the correct temperatures and stuff, they know where it's come from, how much it cost, all that sort of stuff. you don't end up with situations where people are getting brayed in the head with solid rocks in the form of Monster Ball. So yes, thank you, Mike from TPB, for posting that video on YouTube. I'm just actually going to check the description here because I want to see when it was actually originally posted. Comments are turned off. No, well, show more. It doesn't actually say when that video was posted. That video must have been posted like about 10 years ago though. Repainted Sinner says walk on days are absolutely a passion project for those that get off on the sport. The really interesting question here is for stock pump magfed players. How do sites continue to cut the same margin? Well, Sinner, as things currently stand, they don't. Now I would say stock class players aren't really an issue because there's probably about 3 of we in the country. So yeah, okay, stock class players are gonna shoot less paint than the average player, obviously, but there's only a handful of them. It's basically negligible. Pump players, Chris Varney says 2009ish. Yeah, that would probably be alright, Chris. Yeah. So yeah, Sinner, pump players. Again, there is a handful more of it, but again, I would say, to my knowledge, you probably have about a core 20 players in the country that actually play pump regularly, and again, that's just not that many of we. Now, I would say if you want to have pump games, and this is going to tie in with magfed as well, if you want to have games where it is specifically, say, stock class, or it's specifically pump, or it's specifically magfed, expect that you are going to pay more on entry. That's just the way it is. It's gonna make sense to me. Now, if you're going to a mixed day, and you are, say, like one magfed player in amongst 30 like normal sort of hopper fed players, yeah, I would expect that you are going to pay the same amount of money, but you are going to have the disadvantage of being well and truly outgunned by everyone else there. Unless you go with a box mag, but then you're not really playing magfed, it's not in the same sort of spirit. You're going to be shooting potentially just as much as they are. But if you are going and playing a magfed event, yes, expect that you are going to be paying more money, because the site still has to make the same amount of money to cover all of their costs and all that sort of stuff. As basically you've kind of pointed out there. Yeah, so they're still going to have to make the same amount of money to cover their costs. But if they aren't making that money from selling paint, they've got to make that money from somewhere else. So, hell, they might not even increase the cost of entry, but they might start putting a charge on tea and coffee. They might start increasing the prices on snacks that are there. They might increase the cost. If they don't want to increase any of the costs towards the magfed players, they might increase the costs to the rental customers that are on site. They might increase the paint costs in general, just to subsidise those magfed and pump players. But when more and more people start playing magfed and pump and go away from playing normal sort of walk-on days where they might be then themselves subsidising a magfed game, those magfed players, then the costs will eventually increase for those guys. That's the way I see it anyway. And if anyone has an argument to make against that, then I'm more than happy to have that discussion with them. It's what I'm more than happy to do here. I should actually put a link in the Discord. Sorry, I should put a link in the Technical Problem broadcasts to the Discord as well, so that we can actually have people to come on and talk about this. Oh, itchy eye. Oh. But yeah, so in my opinion, I definitely believe, well, I think we're already really seeing it. Magfed events, you're probably going to pay a bit more on entry than you would for a normal walk-on. I think that's just what happens. But at the same time, I think there is we are seeing a rise in magfed players and a decrease in some hopper-fed players, which can kind of also counterbalance each other. Strange how that works. So yeah, Any of you guys got anything to say on that? I don't know if I've actually lost them.
Yeah.
That post is still going. I mean, ultimately, when you boil everything down on it, as so many people have said, it's money. Yeah, it does boil down to money, but it's not as complex as, it's not as simple as, I'm a site owner, I want to fill my pockets. Ultimately, every business person does want to do that, but it's not as simple as that. You see, I mean, somebody here said, okay, sure, paintball is like a restaurant that doesn't let you bring in your own food. Great analogy. Except that most of the restaurants are serving spoiled food with mould and charging £100 per plate. I bet going out to eat will be so popular, and it's like, you know, you have an argument to make there. And maybe that is why we're seeing a massive decrease in the number of players that are actually turning up to events. Maybe they're just, and if we stick with the analogy of a restaurant, maybe the restaurants in your area are bad. It's entirely possible. I don't believe that is the case. I think that, yes, there is some sites that, you know, some restaurants that are selling bad food. But then there is lots that aren't. But it's effectively going, hang on, all the restaurants are bad, so therefore I'm just not going to go out to eat. And you've also got to accept that going out to eat is going to be more expensive than making a meal while sitting at home. So yeah, I mean, there's somebody else in that thread has shared the link to this as well, because has shared the link to the Monster Ball video, and saying, yeah, you know, like, because people can turn up with paint that is in that sort of condition, and it's just bad. You do not want to be getting shot with that. Sinner, I mean, with the introduction of super premium paint like First Strikes, there are other avenues for monetization while reducing the disadvantages of playing a limited paint format. Would you be happy to see more First Strike allowed on UK fields? Sinner, as far as First Strike goes...
No.
No, First Strike, as long as First Strike is declared safe, I do not care if it is used. Ultimately, though, I do not believe it is going to take off massively because people like to pull the trigger. And pulling the trigger while using First Strike, you need to have one almighty bank balance. I mean, when it is cheaper to buy real bullets than it is to buy First Strike rounds, I'd rather go to the range. I would literally rather buy a real gun and go to the range. I could actually buy a real gun cheaper than it is to buy some paintball guns. And granted, I'm not like, if I shoot people with that, then I would, you know, I'm not going to have a good time. Trust us, I wouldn't survive in prison. But
one game, ultimate finisher.
Yeah. But realistically,
how much is a normal box of First Strike?
How much is a normal box of First Strike? Right.
I'm not on about the pathetic 30 round.
Let's look into this then. So I am going to go to a site that I use relatively well. I stay up to date with what they do relatively a fair amount. So I'm not going to show this. I'm not going to name the company, but I know for a fact I know I should be able to get a price from them.
$34.96 for 100 rounds.
$34.96 for 100 rounds. Thank you, Chan.
So basically 35 quid.
What was that there? Sorry. What was that? Sorry, Ben. I'm not sure if I've lost Ben.
Casings for a project was I think
I'm losing you guys here. Hello?
maybe.
I've lost you guys. I'm not hearing anything yet.
Get off the internet then, you weirdo.
Right, I heard you there, Ben.
Ah, you heard that. Right, here's a good example. Israeli military industries 9mm, 125 grain FMJ, 100 rounds of 9mm ammo, basically, £25 a box. How many is that? 22. Yeah, 22 rimfire. No, it's not rimfire, is it?
Yeah.
Shit. A proper 22 ammo, 22.50 a box. 22 long rifle rimfire, 1,000 rounds you can pick up for 95 quid. So you can get basically 2 rimfire. You're looking at 4 for every one of first strike if you get like the 250 box, which is about 100 quid in it.
Yeah. But can you?
I know 38 special is about between 8 and 12 quid for 50 rounds.
Yeah.
So even that 16 quid against 36.
Yeah. And that is why I don't believe that first rounds are going to take off big style. There will be a market for them, for people that want to imitate people like the Hidden Hedgehog. I do think, yes, there is people that will want to be the sniper and play the sniper role, but I think realistically the vast majority of people that like that sort of thing, they try it, realise how hard it is, and just go, nah, I'm not doing this. I don't think first rounds...
Well, yeah, you see that the thing on that is a lot of the bag-fed games, use of first strike is sort of becoming designated sniper use only.
Yep.
So you've got to have a bolt action marker to fire it. So something like a converted Hammer 7 or like a SAR 12 or something other that is stupidly expensive. So it's but even though there's plenty of other guns out there that will shoot it and will shoot it arguably better than the guns I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
MG 100.
Yes, yeah. Well, funnily enough, there is a lot of players are now saying that the MG 100 is friggin' amazing. Even for shooting first strikes, it is comparable, or even, like I said, comparable or even better than things like the SAR 12. Which is, what, 800 £800 more expensive than a MG 100?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What are they, like 1,200?
There's something like that to buy, yeah.
I think the it's something like $1,200, but that is with like a couple of extra mags.
Yeah.
And the scope. So I think it's something. I think a basic bare bones is still about even let's say it's 800 quid for the bare bones one without all the fancy tarty stuff. It's twice as expensive.
Yeah.
As something that is a lot more high maintenance, finicky, and temperamental.
Yeah.
Because I'm still on the Carbon owners group from when I owned mine, and the amount of people that have issues with stuff because. Unfortunately, being such a small company, they're all made by hand. Yep, the technology behind it is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But quality control is, I'm not saying it's hit and miss. I'm just saying you're talking with something like the Star, tiny tolerances. If they're off, you can throw it off.
Yeah.
Even down to stuff like if you're that's why you see so many people in like the SARS group and stuff that will take the time to round off the imperfections on the nose of the fins.
Yeah, yeah.
That will take off any sharp edges or mold lines from like the trap door or the follower in the magazine.
Yeah.
To try and avoid them flipping. Whereas the MG, wham bam, fucking fill it up with whatever you want. I'll still shoot it and shoot through it.
Well, that's it. I mean, come on, like a marker that is 1,200 quid to buy, and I know you said that's with a few extras, but effectively it's at least £1,000 to buy, versus a marker that was originally designed to be a rental gun. Now, that's not to say that I think buying an MG1, buying a SAR 12 is a waste of time. I think that the SAR 12 is a friggin' awesome looking gun. I think it would be really fun to play with one. Unfortunately, I do not have the patience or the inclination to try and train to be a paintball sniper, because I do consider that to be a real thing now. But yeah, to me, if I wanted to shoot first strike, I think I'd be more inclined to just go and buy a MG100 and know that it's going to pretty much work straight away, than to take all that extra effort to go through training with a SAR 12. That's just kind of the way that I view it anyway. But yes, as far as would I
Chan, on a side note,
Mhm.
There's a Chan. Kung Flu, you there? Yeah. You were looking at that auto mag. Do you just want my one? Because I ain't going to use it.
No, to be honest, I was just looking to see how much you wanted to see if it was a steal, but it's not. So I've got an auto mag, and it's pretty much the cream of as high up as you can get with an auto mag.
It's
So
not though.
You can't get any better than a fucking ULE bodied.
Yes, you can.
Level 10. What's better?
An E-mag.
No, it's not, because they're
Yeah,
actually
fucking
slower.
is.
They're slower.
How is it slower?
No. It's a cutter body Pew mag or fucking like an RT Pro.
Shut up, Ben.
Shut up.
Nah, in my
Do you
opinion,
know how stupid I was to sell my factory splash RT Pro to Norway?
Pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should have sold it to America. More money.
No, actually, no, it wouldn't have been.
No.
Norway beat it by about $300. It was like, yeah, it's going to Norway.
Nope. As far as I'm concerned, you cannot. If it's mags, you can't beat an E-mag. It was both mech and electro, and fired as fast as you realistically need it to fire.
Yeah, but
the sleeper frames, like the new mags, they were fun. Or you do what I did, and I've still got the video knocking about in my phone somewhere. You buy what you think's a normal thing. You clean it, you lube it up, put it back together, and on a double trigger frame with a classic valve that should not physically be able to fire over 15 BPS.
Yeah.
It would only full out at 20.2 plus or 20.2 20.2 BPS.
Yeah.
It would only fire at that. It's basically like it was trying to be a response, and I think it was only wanting to do it at about 240. No, sorry, 260. But it was plus or minus 20 FPS.
Yeah. If it's 260, plus 20 isn't too bad. Plus minus 20 is pretty bad.
Not at 20.2 BPS. It's not.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I bet it went through air pretty fast though.
Why do you think I only used 1.5 litre tanks?
Yeah, which actually mine's a 1.1 that I need to get tested. And I'm pretty sure my 0.8 actually expires this year. So yeah, Chan, you can make us something with that. Right, so go back to the comments though. Kingfisher, hello, says he's off to OMG End War. Yeah, I'm guessing it's OMG End War. It's £90 a ticket, looking at 150 all in with paint and smokes and grenades. That's the thing, Kingfisher. For a £90 ticket, or you're saying 150 all in with paint and smokes. £90 ticket. What do you get with your £90 ticket? Because I know that OMG do kind of scale theirs, so you get more with some, less with others, things like that. You know, they've also got like dedicated sniper rules where you get first strikes included with that. That's all cool. You know, I understand that, but it's like to me, it does seem as if their entry is slightly more than you would expect to pay normally. But I also don't think that they are ridiculously priced either. But I do think Paul at with OMG, he's doing well. And I don't mean that he's doing well, he's loaded. I mean he is doing well in paintball. He's doing well with business. That's the way that it seems to me. His games, at least with the OMG stuff, seems to sell out pretty fast. Repainted Sinner has said that it's 40p per first strike. Oh, that depends on how many you're buying them for, how many you're buying. But I mean, what's a box of 250 first strike gonna cost you? Probably looking at.
I think it's so cheap. I can't remember actually. I'll look it up. But remember when they first came out, it weren't too far off 100 quid or something.
Mm-hmm. That's it, and it's. I mean, if it's 30 quid for 100, you're pretty looking at what, 60 for 250?
Oh no, sorry, it's about 80, 85. I think it was something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when First Strikes first came out, and I went and bought a box of them. I think I bought like a box of 20 or something, and I'm sure that was about 20 quid at the time. They were really bloody expensive, and they have come down, but I still don't think that they are. I'm trying to think what the expression is for it. But that just
you can actually get a 600 round pack of First Strike.
Yep. 300 quid.
What, for 600? Mm-hmm. No, it's the cheap price of 210.
Mind, I would say 600 is probably going to last somebody an extended period of time. You know,
that's 6 cases of paint and like 6 cases of good paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 4-star or fucking evil.
250, 70 quid.
250 for 70 quid.
And that's on Rap 4's website. Sorry, yeah. Modern Combat Sport.
Yeah.
And that's 2 cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
4,000 rounds or 250.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm
purity by volume.
Yeah. If you think about it, if I'm playing stock class, how many days is that going to last me if I shoot? If I'm being trigger happy playing stock class and I shoot 500 balls a day, what's that? 2 cases of paint. That is
8 bags.
Yes.
8 days.
8 days worth of play for the cost of 200 first strikes. I think even if I was playing
that amount of time sleep in your first year of parenthood.
Yeah. Lawrence Barrick is brought up here. Something no one has mentioned is the fact that one of the reasons walk-on days have declined in numbers is ironically that the way that the game has diversified. Rather than having one walk-on game which everyone plays in, we've a thin spread of Magfed, Electro, Stock, Mechanical. It's fewer players across more events. And I do think he's got a point. He says we are one of the only. This is slightly separate, but he says we are one of the only bring your own walk-ons left nowadays, and the clock is ticking on that. Yeah, Lawrence, I can understand that. And yeah, I would say that you are right in the fact that because paintball is diversifying, and because that isn't, and I don't know, you didn't say this, but because paintball is a small business in the UK, even though there is millions of pounds being made throughout the industry, paintball is a small industry. There isn't that many players. I mean, come on, how long has the UK PSF? And I'm guilty of doing it as well, mind. But how long has the UK PSF been saying if they can get over a certain number of members, they can receive sports recognition? How long have they been trying to get that? And I think it's only like 2,000 people or something. And they can't get.
Oh, to be fair, I'm fucking done with you for my own reasons. Mainly,
yeah.
Just to keep it simple. To actions, knowing shit that could fuck up lots of paintball, not just certain areas of it.
Yeah.
So it's just if you actually look on the page, like, half the time, God, I'd hate to think when the last post would be from.
Yeah. You don't see stuff from the UK PSF very often. They are doing as much as I want to support them, they're not doing a very good job at the minute of keeping people up to date on what's going on. And unfortunately, we are a species where out of sight, out of mind. People forget fast. I want the UK PSF to succeed, but they don't seem to be doing very well at the moment. They might be doing amazing behind the scenes, but if we don't know what's going on with them, people aren't going to support them.
Uh, 25th of Feb, clinic post.
Say 25th of February.
Yeah.
Well, that's not actually that long ago.
20th Feb, posting about some stolen paintball guns on the BBC. 19th of Feb, Exodus. And some shit from Paintball Extravaganza League. Last actual thing, the UK PSF was 8th, organising the 20.
Right.
That's going to be the 11th of March at Bassett's Pole.
Right.
That's one post about the AGM.
Yeah.
Start of January, and that's in what? 7 days? That's a week's time.
Yeah. Ah, did you say the 11th of March? Yeah, that's a week's time.
Yes, the 11th of Wednesday, the 11th of March. And the best thing is, the last thing on that post, it says, please share far and wide. Remember to comment here on the image post so we can get your feedback. Total of 4 comments and 1 share since.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ben. Can you send that to me and I'll stick that up on my Facebook page as well. Because I mean, I do understand that, going back to kind of what Lawrence has said, with the diversification of paintball, and into things like MagFed, Electro, Stock Class, blah blah blah. Even Facebook groups have fractured more. So you've now got the same events, but the same groups of people separating out across all of these different Facebook groups, and then all of these different Facebook groups. People follow all of them. God knows how many Facebook groups I must be on for paintball, and you miss stuff. It is so easy to miss things. Because you've just got this. You've got one post on Facebook can be a drop in the ocean. I mean, it's along the lines of YouTube. YouTube apparently has like 400 hours worth of content uploaded every single minute. Is it every minute? Oh no, yeah, I think it's every minute. There's 400 hours worth of content uploaded. It's no wonder that so much just gets missed, because there's just so much out there. But yes. So anyway, guys, this will be like a 10-minute warning for me ending the stream, because I have to go and put my child to bed and make sure that she has a bottle before bedtime and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
You said that last time, and then you got on fucking sidetracked with flashlights, you dirty old man. And it was nearly 11 o'clock before you actually fucking went.
Yeah, but I need to actually make sure that I'm off at the right sort of time here. Oh, I still really, really want to see if I can do that. I know we talked about this last week, but I really, really do want to know if a flashlight will fit into a pod. Or not even necessarily a pod, but just into a pod pack. Because if it'll fit in, I still just want to I want to get my hands on about 10 or 15 flashlights, and at a tournament just sneak around and put them into people's pod packs.
You do that though. Do you know what the best thing to do? You do that in one of them inflatable penis costumes, because you'd be being that obvious about it. You
Yeah.
might probably get away with
A giant inflatable penis carrying around a sack full full of pocket vaginas.
Panties for all.
Yeah. Oh god. I pray to God that there isn't anyone like that. There's nobody in another country watching the stream, and it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the kids are there or something.
Oh, it's like lunchtime, and they're just in a cafe having coffee.
Yeah.
And the headphone lead slips out.
Yeah. Richie Wong. Dex proceeds to rant about nothing for an extra hour after the 10-minute warning. Yeah, Richie. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, so I suppose, guys, anyone that's interested, I believe there is a link in the description down below for my Teespring store, if anyone wants to support this channel by spending their hard-earned cash on the shite that I try and sell. Chan recently bought one of my... I don't know which one of you it was, I giggled in the background there, but yeah. Chan recently bought one of my t-shirts, and apparently thought it was fucking terrible, so please go and buy them all.
What?
Which terrible one is this?
I just made that up. No, Chan, in all honesty, and I am not going to be offended because I can just go and delete it and cry later once I'm off stream. Was that t-shirt that you bought all right?
Yeah, spot on.
There you go. That is high praise from the Chandy man.
Fuck off. So you're going for the sympathy vote then? My friend didn't like it. Please buy my stuff.
No, I'm...
It's a t-shirt. It can't go far wrong with a t-shirt.
You can also get it in hoodie format.
Hoodie.
And a wife beater.
Yes, well... yeah, obviously.
Why would you want it on a can of Stella?
Actually, I think I can actually do like beer cozies and stuff as well. So,
well, I'm now up to 2 paintball mugs.
Nice one. Yes.
CPP one.
Yeah. Yes, and you've got one. You've got one of mine as well.
Yeah, yours was the first.
Yeah.
Really? Mag-fed, it's a bit like airsoft, but for big boys.
Yeah. I've got to give some love to all my fans.
You need to get the cock on.
I've been thinking about like what I can do for like other markers as well, and I'm thinking about making one for auto mags. You know, like this is my splat mag. So there's that, and I'm trying.
I'm guessing that it was the My Cocker.
Yes.
The channel.
Yep. And I've got to do something for a pump gun as well. Like,
why haven't you put the Dexter's PB Lab on the t-shirt?
Because I'm having difficulties getting the logo cut out. So I need to spend a bit of time and sit and work on it and get the logo entirely cut out, so that I can then mount it onto like put it onto a t-shirt.
I sent you the PNG files.
It's just got a background on it though.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Are you thinking because the background shows up as white rather than the normal crosshatch bit where there is no background?
Yeah.
To show there's no background.
Huh? Hang on.
Thing is,
are you looking at the right file?
Because you did send it to us.
You look at the one you've already got, thinking it's the one that Chan sent you back.
Don't know.
If you scroll back through the live stream chat, on the pictures feed, I've screenshotted it, and the one where it just says Dex posters in red,
Mm-hmm.
it's on like a black background. That's actually a clear file when you download it.
Nice one. In that case, I'll actually try and get that one put up on as a t-shirt. But you did send a copy of the file over a while ago as a PNG, but it actually had the background on it. But
yeah, but it was a white background.
Yes, it was a white background. I'll look back through, and I'll actually get those listed up before the next stream. So if anyone wants a T-shirt with my channel logo on, I think it's not even my channel logo yet. I need to get that corrected. But with my logo thing, then yes, you will be able to get one of those T-shirts.
Oh, and you do know that your Live, Laugh, Play hoodie is not in the right font either.
Is it not?
No, it's not the nicest. It just literally looks like Times New Roman.
Oh, for God's sake! Has it gone back?
All the rest, the wife beater and that.
The Calm Down Karen V2.
The t-shirt and the wife beater are fine. He isn't. And to be fair, the Live, Laugh, Pump works.
What the
Live,
hell?
Laugh, Play. Why
is that gone back to being like that? That wasn't like that when I made the bloody thing. And the thing is with Teespring, you can't go back in and edit something once it's been made. So I will have to email Teespring to ask them to remove the hoodie from that. You can add...
Whilst limited time, while the email is sent, get a reject design.
Yeah, that's it. Get the reject design, yeah. Yeah, so I have no idea why it's done that. I checked all
the
that.
Albert Hall just based on the Premier Inn's every room.
What was that one? Sorry.
The Albert is that just based on the Premier Inn's porn line on every room?
No, that was based on the fact that Albert was purple when we did the streams originally. When we first started doing this, I was able to do we're using Google Hangouts, so the four of us were able to sit and talk to each other live on air, and everyone could see everyone. Unfortunately, Google Hangouts got shut down, and now I can't get any other programs to work, so that we can actually have multiple people on together. All I can do is voice chat, which is alright, but it's not exactly what I wanted from this. That's why I like Martello's streams when he was doing them, where he was actually having multiple people on together, because I think that is it's a more immersive sort of way of people interacting with each other. It's a better streaming system because people can sit and actually they know what people's actual response is. You're not just listening to a voice in the background. Yeah, everyone can see me and see how I respond when something's said, but they don't know how if other people actually agree with what I'm saying, or if they're just saying it because they're on air and somebody that I talk to. Communication is way more than just what somebody says. It's how they respond and behave.
Have you mentioned the important events that are coming up this month rather than just what's on the weekend?
Well, you know what it is? I was actually meant to give a shout out to one, which was one sec. Tickets are now available for Skirmish Superheroes vs. Villains. They've gone live, and you can find your tickets available at www.heroesversusvillains.co.uk. I'm actually going to share that link over onto my Facebook page. And yes, it is now 10 o'clock, and I'm supposed to be off by that point. But yeah, there we go. I've now shared the Superheroes vs. Villains link over onto my Facebook page. I'm not sure if I already have. I may have, or may have not have. I'm not sure. But yes, you can find it on my Facebook page, or you can just go to... I've just closed the bloody link there, but I believe it was www.heroesversusvillains.co.uk. Yes, so there's that one. Is there anything else that you would like to give a shout out to, Ben?
Right, obviously ECPL round 1. It's in a couple of weeks still at Skirmish Nottingham. What's 20th, 21st, isn't it? Yes, no decks, heavy decks.
What was that? Sorry, I lost the end there.
ECPL, 20th, 21st, isn't it? Skirmish
20th,
Nottingham.
21st, 22nd.
Hmm?
3 days.
20th. Well, I think there's. I don't know what's happening on Friday, but obviously, I think
If I'm guessing it's like most tournaments, Friday will be training, Saturday's probably prelims, divisional stuff, and then main things will be on the Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Also, there's UK Woodland Masters. Fair enough, it is April, but that's 5th of April next month. And CPBS season starts with round 1 kicking off on the 18th and 19th of April. Also, it might be at some stupid times of the night, being the fact it's in Vegas, but the 5th of the 8th of this month, so it starts tomorrow. For anyone that likes to watch tournament on live streams and stuff, you have NXL Las Vegas.
Charming. And is it Go Sports that generally streams that sort of stuff?
Probably.
I think it is Go Sports that does a lot of the game streaming. Yeah.
But the thing is now I won't have a chance to watch it because already I've been asked to help ref at UK Woodland Masters, and I'll be doing as much of the CPPS as I can.
Yeah.
To start with.
Ow. Well, like I've said before, I do believe that reffing is a great way to get yourself involved in the games, even if you can't afford to go and play or anything as well. Or even if you just want to help out.
You see so much stuff going on that you don't realise when you're playing.
Yeah.
Even just like then, it's just like 30 seconds after someone's got into a bunker, I'm like thinking, even me, I don't play Tawny. I've pissed about with it once. I've like seen people run into like the cans and stuff. I'm trying to watch obviously for if they've been hit and stuff like that. And but after about 10-15 seconds of being, I'm like, well, you're not being shot at. You keep sticking your head out, firing little bursts off. Why aren't you moving?
Yeah.
Don't know why they don't keep pushing forward. It's just like even simple stuff like that. You just think, why you do that?
Yeah.
But then obviously it's like you be able to pick up so much stuff, seeing obviously little tricks people have and stuff like that. So it's a great way to get into it. And obviously without refs, there aren't games.
Yeah.
Without games, there's
no paintball. Yeah. Richie Wong says Go Sports is cheap and you can cancel it at any time. If anyone's interested in that one.
That's a good recommendation from Mr. Masuka.
Yep. Going back a little bit in the comments here, Paul Cross says what? Chan, have you never watched Dexter?
As in the murderer?
Yes, the TV show. Yeah.
Right.
Have you not seen the actor who plays Masuka? He bears more than a striking resemblance to Richie Wong. Now he realises.
Yeah. Oh man.
And the character Masuka's personality is fucking pretty much bang on with Richie's. Dirty, perverted.
Oh well.
I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, so Paul Cross says the mugs are cool and they hold liquid. Repainted Sinner has said, what's wrong with dressing in camouflage and shooting gear with other dudes in the woods? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Richie Wong says, Dex, he watches you all the time, especially when you're in the shower. Oh dear. Anyhow, guys. So, it is about time that I end the stream. So, it has been a pleasure, as always, to do the entertaining of you lot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Those of you that have stayed and been around for the longest, you are the most appreciated. All 6 of you, or however many of you have actually been here. Guys, have you got anything that you would like to say? The voices in my head, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Go paintball.
Go paintball, go sports. If that isn't the motto, it should be now.
Outside and exercise. Even if it's just walking to the pub. That up and down motion won't do itself.
Right. Jan, have you got anything that you'd like to say?
Not really.
Fair enough. It's been a thoroughly exciting live stream tonight.
Chan, enjoy your 2 weeks self isolation now that you have kung flu.
If one of us did come down with coronavirus, do you think we'd still be allowed to live stream?
What?
Oh.
Well, at least now he's showing signs of symptoms. If he waits 2 weeks, he'll still be able to go to ECPL.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so it has been a pleasure as always, guys. I think I'm going to end it here then.
Sorry, he's just sent me a side by side. One photo is Masuka, one photo is Richie One, and in his messages, which is which? I'm so confused.
Oh man. Yeah.
I've put it in the live stream chat.
I'm not sharing that on the live stream.
Right.
Right.
Bye.
Well, guys, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.